there are not many people watching. We can wait until some people start to join. Hope everyone's having a great day. Monday is generally not a very popular day, but I guess that's all in the eye of the beholder and depends on how much you love your job and love your life. I very much love my job, so I don't have much problems with Monday. I'm visible. Let's see what she says. In the meantime, let's go have a look what BTC is doing. BTC is still hovering around the 10K mark. BTC is just trading sideways, and everyone important and unimportant, and with that I mean obviously everyone is important on Twitter, but everyone with an account with 300 followers or 300,000 followers is making statements about BTC and where BTC is going, no one really knows, right? There's so much going on. There's so many dynamics which are hitting the crypto market always at all times with a ever-changing in an ever-changing environment where DeFi is now the current hype. Non-fungible NFTs, non-fungible tokens might come around the corner and blow up. I think it was Barry Silbert's fund which made an investment along with a project with Mana, Decentraland. These are all interesting things. Let me see what's going on here. Great. So yeah, it's trading sideways, not much going on. Hi, welcome. But there's still a lot going on in crypto space. For one, TI, the rapper, got sued, got fined. Hi there. He got fined by the SEC because in 2017, if you remember, there was a crazy lot of action going on in the ICO market, initial coin offerings, and there were coin offerings pumping up and popping up from everywhere like mushrooms. And a lot of them were being promoted by celebrities too, without them, either if they knew about it or if they didn't know about it, they were participating and promoting scams in many cases. I myself invested in a coin, in a token which never even existed. I was just going along I made some successful investments back then, but I also invested in something called Beth.gp, which used all kinds of buzzwords like blockchain and artificial intelligence, and as they do, you're getting caught in a moment. And everyone's talking about it, and it was a new opportunity to make money. And in the end, that website it was a fraud. It was an ETH address which never led to any funding. The whole project was a scam. The people revolved around it too. So the one that TI was promoting and invested was Flick. Or Flick coin, something like that. I have no. It's insignificant in the sense that it was going to be Netflix on the blockchain. Why would you need Netflix on the blockchain if you already have Netflix, right? Anyway, that's a whole different discussion. And there might be a use case in the future with NFTs on a serious note if you want to participate in a certain network. It's the reason why companies such as Nike and UBS and some other companies, which I can't remember right now, have considered and are experimenting with non-fungible tokens, non-fungible assets to take part in their network, all with the purpose of either fighting fraud or making a better registration or making the market more accessible to people who want to take part in it. So yeah, TI got fined, but I think it was more like a symbolic fine. He only paid like 75K, which is, for him, obviously, it's not a very significant amount. What else is going on? This is not the right one. What I want, 1 second. Yeah, so Apple's been, Brian Armstrong of Coinbase has been voicing his troubles he's been having with Apple because they're not allowing certain things to happen in the app, in the Coinbase app, in relation to DeFi, to receiving and making payments. And that's the thing, obviously, with centralized parties who are so powerful. the big five: Apple, Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft. I don't know. There's one more. They have a lot of structure. They have a lot of control in the structure they're operating. So they have a lot of power, which means that even if if a billion-dollar company such as Coinbase wants to implement a change in the app, which is hosted on the platform of Apple, they have to succumb to certain rules and regulations implemented by Apple. Obviously, because it's not an anarchic platform of anarchy where you can just create anything open source, do whatever you want. It doesn't work that way. Apple's a real world company. They have $1 trillion stock market. So it would be irrational to let a company such as Coinbase do whatever they want. However, for the sake of innovation and the future of cryptocurrency, it would be interesting to see which stance Apple's going to take in the future, because if there is no alternative but to use Apple to build your app, obviously new applications, new platforms will arise which are decentralized, which allow for more freedom. It's an interesting discussion on the whole, and it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen. At gateio, we are super busy in the background, working on our products, listing new tokens. But our second version of the USDT proof of stake and earn, 7 days. They sell out really quick. So 20%, which is 0.0 something percent per day. Congratulations. I think you can deposit up to 35K or 50K even. So it's always better than keeping it at your bank. That's another related note on a side note, that in UK, banks have actually started to charge people a negative interest rate. So they're charging people who are having savings on their banks. That's happening obviously in Europe already. In Holland it's happening, but Holland it's only happening above 100K. So if you have above 100K on your bank account, you will pay a negative interest rate. I think it's now a standard in this specific bank in the UK. So yeah, why not stake it, right? We have a variety of proof of stake and earn pools where you can stake a wide variety of coins, one of them being BTC and Ethereum and USDT. These are all exceptions because normally we don't choose big mainstream tokens. Normally it's more, it's not lesser known alts, but lower cap alts. So alts with a lower market cap. We've launched listing votes, and we are going to list most likely for WaykiChain, STPT, Standard Tokenization Protocol, had a listing vote, made the vote as well, got listed. Phala network, which is built on Polkadot, I believe, that's going to get listed too. From what I saw from the votes, I think they need about 50 million. They're at 43 million at the moment. We have listed Sun, which is a staking token on Tron network. So Sun trading has been initialized. ULU.finance will add GT liquidity DeFi mining. You can lock up your GT to earn farm every day with DeFi liquidity mining. We're going to list Sashimi, lots of food tokens for the food token lovers and the food token haters. Then you can also lock your aunt to get a Wing token. Now that's one of the DeFi products on the Ontology network, and you can either stake aunt in the Onto wallet to get your Wing rewards. Wing is going to be released later, not now, but you can also stake it at Gate, which by the way ranks as number 2 on the top 100 pretty safe cryptocurrency exchanges. That's something to keep in mind. If you want to stake your coins at Gate, you can do so very safely. However, obviously, if you don't feel comfortable with staking at a centralized exchange, feel free to use your own wallet of any kind. But that's also in the eye of the beholder, as there are many people who've been hacked using regular wallets. So the safety of your funds isn't all. It moreover, more than anything, depends on how well you are adapted to good security behavior, right? So not storing any of your information in the cloud on your laptop. I know it's highly unlikely that you're going to store all these passwords on a piece of paper, but you will find a solution, because the incentive for hackers to get to your funds is so high, because the reward is so big, right? I think the BZX protocol has just been hacked for 8 million due to a bug in the software. So you could work, let's say you could work, and I'm not talking about targeting individual users, but you could, work 2 years non-stop, right? 80-hour weeks, and then just be right one time and get like an 8, 10, 20 million reward, And sure, coins can be tracked after that, and your life can be made miserable, and you have to be super careful. But all I'm trying to say is that the incentive is there. Even if you only have a 1K, 2K, 5K to account, the incentive is there. So don't underestimate the incentive of hackers, and realize that anyone is a target. Anyone, high profile, low profile, anyone can target you and have the intention to target you. So there's never going to be any exception. That's the biggest flaw. The biggest mistake you can make is thinking that you will never be targeted. So yeah, don't store anything in the cloud. Use super complex passwords, password managers, password creators, and have a super good think about where you store everything. That's just a little side note intermezzo on security. As my opinion is, if the exchange is legit, sure, if anything ever goes wrong with an exchange, that's your responsibility. But the assumption that coins simply aren't safe on an exchange because of the expression "not your keys, not your keys, not your coins," it's a flawed statement. Doesn't apply, because there are many instances where people get hacked by keeping it on their own wallets, on custodial, non-custodial wallets, whatever. There have been bugs in Tezos. There's been bugs on Exodus. All kinds of examples. So back to Sashimi. Sashimi is going to be listed. Swerve, hold and earn DeFi reward for popular coins. You can hold BTC, ETH, USDT to earn Swerve. You can lock on to get the wing rewards, as I talked about. Let's see what else. That's it for now. Like we've basically done loads of listings of new coins. I think we're above now 420 trading pairs, which is definitely not the most, not the highest, but it's one of the most ambitious. Let's see if I can find it. Coins. So how about if I go here? I'm just trying to look up which exchanges list the most coins. All right. Can't find that. Maybe I'll tweet about it later, because that's an less. So it's going to be a short session, super long. I shortly talked about what's happening in the crypto space, some new news which has come out, and I made some comments about what we've been listing. I just want to finally touch upon an interesting idea in trading, or if you're either a long-term holder or a short-term trader. I found an interesting perspective online in relation to crypto tips, crypto advice. This is not financial advice, obviously, but there are all kinds of ideas of what the best way is to trade. Never add to a losing position. Now that's interesting, because this person here online claims that if you want to average down because a coin is losing value, and as soon as you would recover, while you've been accumulating, you get a better average of your price. So let's say you bought Ethereum at 100, it drops to 50, you're doubling down at that point. When it goes to 50, you'll have an average between $50 and $100. But some say that that's a bad strategy, because you never know what's going to happen. Just because a coin dips, because a project doesn't do well, Doesn't mean it's going to recover. However, that's totally dependent on the token you're talking about. Obviously, it depends on your long-term conviction. Some say it makes sense at any stage to stack your sats, right, on Bitcoin. I remember on a personal note that when EOS was being traded at 50 cents in 2017, and while it went down, I had a certain conviction for that specific time frame, to buy some EOS while it was dipping down. And for me, that worked out. It worked out because the market went parabolic and it went all the way up. But if you have the right idea on your fundamentals, regardless of the fact that you can always lose all your money, because that can always happen, and then there can always be a black swan event which you don't foresee, it can make sense to add to a losing position if you have enough conviction. Now, you need to understand that you could possibly lose your money. However, if markets are cyclical and you have that conviction that markets are cyclical and there's going to be another cycle where this coin gains value again, you can dollar cost average into a coin, no problem. That's just an interesting thing, because there are some people who say just because a coin goes down, it will never go up. It doesn't mean it will go up, so never add to a losing position. But again, that's all in the eye of the beholder and the eye of your judgment on your convictions. So markets trade in cycles, use them in your favor. So that also relates to when you raise your stakes and when you don't raise your stakes. So now there's been a lot of noise that it's in a so-called confirmed bullish trend. The cycle seems to be broken out of that depression phase, and we've come a little bit into the hope phase. So it looks like the market is picking up. Now could be the time to accumulate. If you don't want to accumulate, if you're more of a day trader, feel free to do so. But it's an interesting market nonetheless. I just wanted to touch up very shortly on those 2 points. I hope everyone has a good week. There's a lot going to be happening at gate.io, and there's a lot happening in crypto markets all the time, right? But at the moment, BTC is still chopping around the 10K levels, and everything is super easy and super relaxed. Change will come. In January, we've got the Chinese New Year, so there'll be a lot of action leading up to that moment in time. And in between, a lot of people made predictions that Bitcoin would be 20K, 100K, 50K before December 2020. Let's see what happens. No one really knows. Time is the only real predictor. I hope everyone has a great week, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.